Clive, thank you. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Friday's edition of Look North. Our top story tonight. Calls for a change to the speed limit after two teenagers suffered life-changing injuries when they were hit by a car outside a Harrogate school.
They've undergone multiple surgeries. One of the boys has recently just come out of intensive care after an 8-hour operation. So it's been really traumatic for them.
We hear from a relative of one of the boys about the impact on their lives and families. Also tonight, from 80 to 12,000 staff, Yorkshire-based airline Jet 2 celebrates 20 years in the skies. A new perspective on York Minster as part of the cathedral is bathed in colour and light.
Dreaming of holidays? St Michael clothes in Bry nylon are the dreams you can pack and take with you.
Celebrating 140 years of Marks & Spencer, we take a tour of a new-look exhibition in Leeds, remembering the fashions of yesteryear.
And there's been a lot of cloud around today. There'll be more of the same at times through the weekend. Join me later in the programme for the very latest forecast.
Hello, thank you for watching. First tonight, the family of one of two boys who were hit by a car outside a school in Harrogate last week say they've received life-changing injuries. 15-year-olds Reuben and Fraser are still in hospital and have undergone multiple operations. The police are still investigating what happened. Now, the local MP is calling for the speed limit to be reduced outside the school. Louise Fuster has our top story.
It's a family's worst nightmare.
It's been traumatic for both families. Certainly for my sister being there before the paramedics arrived. And, seeing your child in so much distress must have been absolutely horrific. For myself and my dad, we were down there straight at the hospital, and, to see Reuben like that and Fraser and his family were there, it was just absolutely horrific to see.
15-year-olds Reuben and Fraser were walking to Rossett School in Harrogate last Thursday when three vehicles collided, with one hitting them outside Ashville College before crashing into a wall. It's left both boys with life-changing injuries.
They've undergone multiple surgeries. One of the boys has recently just come out of intensive care after an 8-hour operation. So it's been really traumatic for them. Reuben's undergoing physio at the moment, and that's a really, really gruelling process for him, which he's really struggling with. They play football, for example, so the things that they can't do or they're worried about not being able to do. Fraser likes his car racing. Frightened, is he going to be able to do that?
The Harrogate community have been fundraising for the two families to help pay for their rehabilitation.
Harrogate as a community has come together. I think at the moment there's over £6,000 raised just on that GoFundMe page. I just want to, say thank you from me and my family and Fraser's family. Thanks so much to what people have done. It's absolutely amazing.
North Yorkshire Police say they are still investigating what happened here when three vehicles collided. Meanwhile, local MP Andrew Jones is calling for a reduction in the speed limit to 20 miles per hour outside the schools where the boys were knocked down. Louise Fuster, BBC Look North.
Thanks, Louise. Next tonight, it's 20 years since Jet 2 took to the skies here in Yorkshire. Since then, the Leeds-based airline has seen phenomenal growth. It's now the second largest package holiday operator in the UK. Our business correspondent, Spencer Stokes, can explain more. Spencer.
Yes, that's right. When Jet 2 started in 2003, there were 80 staff employed in Leeds. Today, there are 12,000 across Europe. The company had just 2 aircraft back then. By the summer of this year, there will be 115, and the number of destinations has increased more than 8-fold. 20 years ago, Jet 2 flew to 8 places. Now there are 68. So what's the secret to this Yorkshire success story? I've been speaking to the managing director and some of those who work for the airline.
Welcome on board.
20 years is a long time in the aviation industry. Numerous airlines and holiday companies have gone to the wall. But Jet 2 has grown continually. A travel success story that began with 2 daily departures to Amsterdam.
That was a full flight that day, 148 passengers on board. We had 2 737s in Leeds that morning, ready for service, and we very quickly grew across different airports and across different networks.
You could have chosen any airport in the UK. What made you come here to Leeds Bradford?
They got the best tea. So, yeah. But I think, in the middle of the country, which is a very large conurbation here, we recognised that it was an underserved airport with no other opportunities to fly low cost from Leeds Bradford. So it became a decision that we've never looked back on.
The early 2000s saw a low-cost aviation boom, fuelling concerns about the climate. The growth of any airline, more passengers means more carbon emissions. So what's Jet2 doing to reduce its carbon?
I think the biggest investment we're making at the moment is the introduction of the new Airbus A321neos, which arrive in April. Huge investment in a new aeroplane, and that is the aircraft that we can purchase on the market at the moment, which has got the lowest carbon footprint and the lowest emissions that we can possibly offer.
Captaining a Tenerife departure this morning, David Druitt, and he has vivid memories of that inaugural flight 20 years ago.
So I was learning to fly at Leeds Bradford Airport at Multiflight, and I saw Jet2 come to Leeds as a new airline, and I decided that I'd book myself on the first flight. So I had a look how much it was and where it was to, and it was to Amsterdam. I think it was £2 something one way and 79p on the way back. That was my goal then, to sort of finish my commercial pilot's licence and get a job here.
A minnow in a crowded market, there was scepticism on launch day that Jet2 could compete. But speaking back then, Chief Executive Philip Meeson was confident.
And can you survive? We're going to survive. We're going to be here many years.
Today, the company employs 12,000 staff across Europe and has expanded into the package holiday market.
Lean forward and keep going when you get to the bottom, OK?
Louise has been with them from the start. Growing up in Yeadon, she caught the travel bug early, joining Jet2 as cabin crew and now working in their training centre.
I remember you used to go to the airport, and it was a really fascinating thing when you used to see the Concorde fly in and fly out. We used to go up there as a family trip and watch the Concorde. So for myself, working for an airline that's Yorkshire based and I'm a Yorkshire girl is just fantastic.
I've been waiting for them to give me it.
Getting the right location, a focus on customer service and that early move into the holiday market propelled the firm forward. Jet2 don't rule out long haul in the future, but the 79 pence trip is probably a thing of the past. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Leeds Bradford Airport.
The thought of summer holiday is still a little way off for me. You're watching Friday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. A crowdfund appeal to help a local community buy a much-loved West Yorkshire wood, which is currently up for sale. Next tonight, a man from Sheffield whose life was changed when he was diagnosed with bladder cancer in 2018 says he wants to share his story to inspire others. Thanks to robotic surgery and pioneering treatment, which helps the immune system recognise and attack cancer cells, Kevin Philliskirk is now in training to take part in the race for life.
Why? Why me? I'm a fit and healthy lad. Why? We were on holiday in France and I noticed some colouring in my urine.
As a former police officer and football coach, Kevin Philliskirk had always maintained a high level of fitness. Learning he had bladder cancer was a complete bombshell.
It kind of blew us apart, really. So difficult to explain, and I just don't know why. And to this day, I do not know why.
I remember just sobbing. Kev was extremely brave. And I remember seeing the consultant in the lift as we'd left after having blood tests. And he did say, come on, you will be okay, he'll be fine. There's so many great treatments.
I had a camera inside, and Glynis was there at the time, my wife. And as the probe was going round, the camera was showing things, and then suddenly he said, there it is.
The cancer was removed via robotic surgery, but that meant Kevin would need a permanent urinary stoma.
It was a hindrance to start with because I was getting used to this new attachment on my body. And that's why we became friends. We had to become friends. We had to work as a team, me and the stoma.
Thanks to progress in cancer research, Kevin has been undergoing a process known as targeted immunotherapy.
Basically what it does is it takes our own immune system and teaches it how to recognise cancer. Our immune system is great at spotting bacteria and viruses, but the problem with cancer is it's us gone wrong. So our immune system isn't programmed to spot us. So what immunotherapy does is it teaches the immune system what it's looking for and switches on our white blood cells so that they can go after cancer and attack it.
Pull it round.
Thanks to the treatment, Kevin, with the help of his grandson Freddie, is taking part in this summer's Race for Life in aid of Cancer Research UK. He says the stoma has its advantages, especially on a run, walk, or even in a pub with friends.
I can just stand at the bar and have a drink and do whatever, where they're having to tootle off and go to the toilet. And in some pubs, you know, have toilets a long, long way away. So I just stand there, albeit I do have to empty it periodically.
And why have you chosen to tell this story now, which is very personal?
You don't have to stop leading a normal life. Some people will just sit at home and mope and do nothing and feel sorry for themselves. There's no need. There's no hindrance. You carry on with your life. And running, training, doing whatever is a way of showing, you know, you can live a normal life. And we do.
And many thanks to Kevin for sharing his story, and we wish him and his family all the best for a continued recovery. OK, let's get some more news in brief now. The A1M motorway remains closed in both directions in North Yorkshire tonight after a serious crash involving 2 lorries this morning. Long queues built up soon after the crash, which happened around 7 a.m. between junctions 51 and 52 near Catterick. National Highways say a significant amount of debris is on both carriageways and it's expected the road won't open until tomorrow. Yorkshire ambulance workers are on 24-hour strike again today. It's the latest in a series of walkouts in a dispute over pay and will affect services across the region. And, of course, North Lincolnshire too. The strike by Unison members began at midnight and involves a range of ambulance staff. Not just response crews, but the government says what they're asking for is unaffordable. Now, over £500,000 recovered from criminals by West Yorkshire Police has been handed out to more than 70 community groups to help them keep their areas safer. Among them, a pilot scheme in Wakefield training bar staff how to spot and prevent spiking and sexual violence. And a weekly mental health hub is being set up in Calderdale for people who are homeless or vulnerable.
This is the prevention stuff that the police really struggle to do because of the resources that they've got. We're helping communities stay safe. And without the money that the police are generating through their activities, we would not be able to do this work. Criminals beware. The Rolex, the cars, the nice things you've got, they are at risk.
Now, next this evening, time is running out for a community group to raise the money needed to buy a wood outside Otley. Nature lovers, wildlife groups and local people have until Tuesday to find the £100,000 to make an offer to buy Eastwood, which you can see behind me now. Abby Jola has been to take a look.
Making the most of the great outdoors while they still can. This woodland in Otley is up for sale and local people are worried it could be lost forever.
In private hands, it could be turned into a commercial enterprise of some sort, which would either damage the wildlife or, the worst scenario would be that it might be clear felled and built on. There's no protection as far as we can understand against that happening.
Families have played here for generations, enjoying the open space and fresh air. In the spring, it's well known for its stunning displays of wild garlic flowers and bluebells.
It's close to where we live. It's only 10 minutes walk from the estate, so I come up here looking for red kites and other wildlife, and I see lots of people using the wood for exercise.
It's really good because you can come straight from Otley. You don't have to get in the car, and you can do a fabulous walk all the way up through here.
Like so many young children are inspired by woodland, and if you want people to really kind of care about the planet and care about the future of the planet, care about nature, care about climate change, you need to bring them to places like this.
There is a well-used public footpath, but campaigners are concerned that if the land is sold, a new owner might restrict access to the wider woods.
So what have we got here?
So this is wild garlic.
The area is also home to a wealth of wildlife, and campaigners want to be able to preserve it.
This woodland is full of nesting birds, warblers, There's a rookery, there's red kites nesting here, there's also deer, and it's so alive, and it will be such a shame to lose all this habitat.
Locals are hoping to be able to buy the land themselves, but they need to come up with £100,000 before next week to be able to make a bid.
We're already halfway to raising the money that we need. We'd love for some local organisations and businesses to come forward. Local people have been absolutely fantastic. We've had more than 600 people donate, and now we really need some big organisations to really help us on the way to getting to our target.
The fundraising deadline is the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Campaigners are hoping local people will show some heart and help them save a much-loved local gem. Abby Jayola, BBC Look North, Otley.
Yeah, wish them well with that fundraising campaign too. OK, Oggie's here with all the weekend sport, and the beginning, Oggie, of the netball season, I believe, is upon us.
You're right. We'll be saying it this time next week as well, Phil. The Super League, the Rhinos ready to roll again. This time we're talking about the netball version of it. Their first weekend match. It's a showcase event in Nottingham where all the matches take place in round one. The Rhinos' first match in front of their own fans a week on Sunday in Leeds. But interestingly, that's not the location for all of their home schedule for 2023. Further down the fixture list this season for the Rhinos, you'll also find them hosting matches in Huddersfield, at Sheffield's English Institute of Sport and in Hull. Leeds Arena will also house the Rhinos in April. The name is still very much Leeds, but the plan clearly is to offer elite standard netball to the whole of their Yorkshire audience, even more than before.
It is exciting. The rules have been tweaked so that the game flows, and the perception that people may have that it's, 1-2 step, 1-2 step, that's absolutely not the case now. It's dynamic, it's fast, it's exciting. There's not supposed to be any contact, but there's plenty of clashes and crashes, and it's just a wonderful, exhilarating sport to come and watch.
If you're impressed by the breadth of the Rhinos' home venues this coming season, their recent recruitment strategy has been nothing short of global. New Director of Netball Liana Leota is a New Zealand international star of the sport. Nia Jones has played football and netball for Wales. Elle MacDonald, formerly of the Adelaide Thunderbirds, was born in Greater Manchester, but she doesn't sound like it anymore, having moved to Australia at the age of 8.
Having played in Australia and experienced what it's like over there, I think it's awesome that we've got the Super League who are really working to become more professional as well, and I think that's exactly what the players and clubs want and need, so it's really great that we're taking steps towards that.
Rhinos' first home match of the new season is next Sunday afternoon at Leeds Beckett University. Catch them while you can, because in netball they don't stop moving for long. Turning to cycling, there was a silver medal for Yorkshire riders Charlie Tanfield and Ollie Wood at the European Track Championships last night in the team pursuit. Great Britain were up against Italy in the final for 16 laps around the track. Italy took a consistent lead though, and despite a huge effort, GB weren't quite able to pull it back. They finished 1 second behind to take the silver medal. Cricket, former Yorkshire bowling coach Richard Pyrer says the process relating to allegations of historical racism at Yorkshire has not been open, fair or transparent. Pyrer, one of 5 former players and coaches charged with bringing the game into disrepute, who have withdrawn from ECB Cricket Disciplinary Commission hearings to take place next month. This follows allegations made by former player Azim Rafiq. Pyrer says the process has been badly handled and the allegations not appropriately challenged. That's it for now, Phil.
OK, Oggie, what far-flung destination are we off to this weekend in sport?
Wigan, my friend, Wigan. No passports required.
It's a very, very glamorous assignment. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Now, something to brighten up these rather gloomy February nights of winter. A new lights production show that illuminates York Minster begins tonight. It's called Colour and Light, and Sally Hurst has been taking a look. Just take a look at this.
Well, of course, the York Minster is a stunning and iconic building in its own right, but tonight it's getting a special treatment. It is Europe's largest Gothic cathedral, and that makes it the perfect backdrop and canvas for this light projection show. It's called Colour and Light, and as you can see, there's plenty of both. Now, it's designed by David McConaughey. You do the projections for this. What's the theme of this work?
So the whole idea of the project is to try and
showcase the elements that are above eye level that are hard to see when you're inside the Minster, the kind of hidden stories, and it's all about highlighting the kind of centuries of craftsmanship and amazing architecture in that building.
And how do you go about designing it? Is it all computer generated?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of different medias, but the main thing we start with is just by creating a template to work to, which we do with a 3D scan of the building, and then using kind of motion graphics or any other sort of video elements, we include that in the show and make sure it's to the geometry of the building.
And tonight's the night. Are you pleased with how it's come out?
I'm delighted with it, yeah.
Because you can never be sure until you get here.
No, and it's one ticked off the bucket list as well. It's one we've wanted to do for years and years, so super excited.
Now, this project was organised by Yorkshire, an organisation for businesses in the city. Andrew Lawson, you are with that organisation. What's the idea behind this project?
Well, this time of year, you know, it's a bit darker in the wintry months, and we don't often get as much footfall as York's used to. So this project is designed to kind of bring people in. It's a free show that anybody can enjoy, very accessible, and hopefully when people kind of come in, see this, they'll also, you know, visit the city, enjoy the great retail and hospitality we have here as well.
So bringing people in, it's for residents and tourists?
Very much so, yeah. We're obviously just hit the February half term, so we will be expecting lots of visitors. But yeah, we're very keen to engage with local families and communities around York. And like I say, you know, this is something that you can come see once, twice, 3 times as many as you want. And what a backdrop to do it on. It's a fantastic canvas, and we think it'll bring a real smile to people's faces.
Absolutely, yes, it is an absolutely stunning show, I have to say. In person, it's really worth coming to have a look. It's on until the 23rd of February, starts every evening, 6 o'clock, finishes at 9, and it's certainly a magical way to light up the last of these gloomy winter evenings.
Thank you, Sal. In York, I might have to nip down and take a look at that myself. Now, don't ask the price, it's a penny. That was the slogan Michael Marks used when he opened his first bazaar in Leeds back in 1884. It was the origin for what we now call Marks and Spencer. And an attraction that depicts the store's past is reopening its doors at the University of Leeds in time for half term. Our very own fashionista, Amanda Harper, has been along for a quick try-on.
Katie, it's such an incredible collection. You must be so thrilled to see it all here under one roof.
Yes, so here at the M&S Archive we have over 72,000 objects telling the story of Marks and Spencer, and the archive exhibition has been closed for the last couple of months while we undergo a refurb of the exhibition to make it much more family friendly and accessible for our visitors.
I'm going to say, speaking of family friendly, we're just coming into the little shop now, aren't we, the Penny Bazaar. Just tell us what visitors can expect here.
Yeah, so in here we've mocked up a Penny Bazaar from the earlier 20th century, so one of our oldest shops. Visitors can come and play at being shopkeeper.
Adults too.
And us. Adults, yes, definitely adults and children. We can have a look at these replica Penny Bazaar items. People can have a go on the till, they can put on a shopkeeper's apron and find out what it would have been like to be a shopkeeper in the 1910s.
And there's so much history here, isn't there? But you also have an incredible archive on film.
St Michael's stretch slacks and tops. Easy to wear, easy to care for. Fashion that takes the eye.
So we have some fascinating film footage in the archive. One film in particular stands out. It's some film footage from when the current Leeds store opened in 1951. The film footage shows Briggate, it shows the street, it shows the entrance, it shows customers queuing up to get in on the first day of opening to try and grab a bargain, and then it shows them flooding into the new store as it opens.
So decades of history, and we're going to go now to my favourite corner of this exhibition, the dressing up section. Just tell me about the idea behind this.
So we want our visitors, young and old, to be able to come into the exhibition and have a go at trying on some really vintage items from the M&S collection. So we have some original vintage garments that visitors can try on, as well as some replicas.
This one caught my eye. Just take me through this. I feel very Margot from The Good Life.
It is very Margot, yeah, definitely. This is a beautiful, original 1970s caftan. So our visitors can come in and try it on and pose in front of one of our backdrops or in front of the mirror, take a selfie and feel what it would be like to have been shopping in Marks & Spencer in the 1970s.
It is absolutely beautiful. I might have to try that one a little bit later on. So you're all set for half term?
We are, yes. So we're open next week, Monday to Friday. We've got free refreshments for all our visitors. We're also open tomorrow for the first of our crafty Saturdays, which are the second Saturday of every month. So we're hoping that we get lots of visitors over the next few days.
I think you might just do that. Thanks very much, Katie.
Thank you.
Fascinating stuff. I was looking through some of the archive earlier on, Keely, and
Did you
materials haven't gone out of fashion. And I know people say, well, you've gone out of fashion, but Bry nylon and terylene, does that still exist? Do people still wear clothes of that?
I think Amanda's got a lot of that, hasn't she? She's our
Bry
vintage fashion. I mean, I'm pretending I know what it is, but maybe it was before my time, Phil.
I'm sure it was, Keely. I think it's even before my time.
Wow.
That's saying
okay,
something.
let's move on. Let's have a look at some of the pictures that have been coming in over the last 24 hours or so. Lovely red sky this morning in West Yorkshire. The second picture, there was a lot more cloud around today, but still some lovely reflections. That is at Hind Weald Dam. And then the third picture, some lovely wave-like bottom to the cloud, altostratus, undulatus there. Keep your weather pictures coming in to the BBC Weather Watchers page, or you can tweet me at Keely Donovan, or I'm on Instagram to Keely.Donovan. So we're going to keep the settled weather over the weekend. But just like today, there will be more cloud around compared with the days just gone. So tomorrow, variable amounts of cloud. I'm hopeful that, though, there will be some bright or sunny spells at times and a very similar forecast for Sunday, although a greater sign, I think, of a little bit of mist and fog to start the day. The weather's settled because of this area of high pressure that's moving away eastwards, but it will keep the weather systems at bay probably until later on Wednesday. So at least the first half of the week looks largely fine and settled, and we might find high pressure builds in again towards the end of next week. This is a satellite picture, a lot of cloud out there, a real change from the sparkling sunshine that we've had at times this week. The cloud will come and go overnight. The best chance of any breaks, I think, will be east of high ground along the Pennine chain. That could still be the odd spot or two of drizzle and a little bit of mist and murk as well. The odd mist patch under clearer skies. Temperatures down to around 5 or 6 degrees. Let's have a quick look at those high water times then at 7:39 in Filey and at nearly 7:15 in Whitby. So tomorrow, variable, often large amounts of cloud. So there are some large areas of cloud about, but there still should be some bright or sunny spells at times, particularly away from the hills. It'll be a dry day and it won't be as breezy as it has been today. The other thing you'll notice, it's a mild day. Temperatures up at around 11 or 12 degrees. 12 is 54 Fahrenheit. We should be at around 7 or 8 this time of year. So mist and fog going into Sunday. Sunday looks dry once again with variable amounts of cloud, some sunny spells, a little bit breezier. Watch out for fog first thing on Monday morning. That'll lift into low cloud. It looks like we've got a lot of dry weather to come through next week. Phil.
Altostratus undulatus. Is that how you impress your dinner friends?
only if I invite Paul round.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't think of anything worse. That's as far as we go. Our fashionista Amanda is back with a late bulletin at 10:30. We'll see you then. Have a good night.